With our special guest, Sean De Freitas. Thank you so much for being with us here today on BizGrams. How are you doing this morning?
I am fantastic. Thank you, Chris-Beth. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Sean, I have not met another guy so excited to talk about finance and the money and understanding the money. As a CPA, I know that you started a company called Zayik Accounting and Finance, and you specialize in accounting, finance, bookkeeping, helping with taxes, and business consulting as well. So tell us, Sean, how did you get started on your entrepreneurial journey?
Back in 2016, so to kind of dial it back a bit further, so I've been a CPA or a qualified accountant for in excess of a little over 20 years since I've had a professional accounting designation. And I've worked with within the banking system, financial services, insurance organizations, telecoms. I've worked with an advertising conglomerate as well, and kind of worked in different finance, management reporting, analytical roles, and really just became a little bit, I suppose, disgruntled with the Bay Street existence kind of back in 2016, and kind of the fun, the excitement had kind of been sucked out of me with the corporate shuffle, as it were, and then kind of really realized, I've got a wealth of experience, and again, I'm a passionate, enthusiastic individual, and kind of felt that being sucked out of me, and really wanted to reclaim that, kind of reclaim my identity and just operate in a capacity that was satisfying to me and my inner being. So just, really kind of just like searching and reaching inwards is what really solidified and brought me onto the entrepreneurial path. So in 2016, I started up a venture, with an educational venture. So did that during 2016, 2017, 2018. And then I broke away from that because, again, with that self-analysis, and again, wanting to do something that really spoke more to my inner being and really would allow me to leverage my skill set, my experience, all of this knowledge within the accounting and finance realm, is what led me to launch Zayik Accounting and Finance. So I launched it at the back end of 2019. And again, it was to work with business owners, decision makers, work with entrepreneurs, and to provide a service, a personalized service that was going to help individuals, business decision makers along the accounting, the finance, business consulting realm, as well as to work with organizations to ensure that from a tax viewpoint, that they're not paying $1 more in tax than they should. And I work to make sure that my clients remain compliant with the various regulatory bodies.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing that. You shared about your experience and transition from corporate to first business to now second business in this way, right? And I think it is so powerful. Many entrepreneurs oftentimes go down that pathway. And I love you shared that you got a sense of who you are. What are my values? Where are my strengths? What do I want to do? What value do I want to bring? And one of the things I say to many entrepreneurs is, you're the boss. You get to decide. So making a decision to pivot or shift altogether is in your hands and power to do so. And I love the fact that you're talking about, the compliance for businesses around working with CRA, because you don't want to get in trouble in that way. So talk to us a little bit more about some of the client interactions that you've seen and experienced. What are some of the pitfalls many startup entrepreneurs or early stage entrepreneurs fall into when it comes to finance in their business?
I think one of the biggest pitfalls that I see. First, let me start off with what some may term as a positive. So entrepreneurs tend to come with a lot of passion and enthusiasm around what they're up to, either with the product or the service that they're offering. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of enthusiasm about what they're up to and moving into this realm. But one of the time and time again, what I keep seeing is they haven't taken into consideration how to price their product or their service effectively or competitively. So when I say that, to break it down, it's looking at the product or service that they're offering, and then looking at how to cost it accurately. So looking at fixed costs, so all of the costs that are going to be incurred if you sell one product, 100 products, 0 products. What costs do you have to, you're going to be on the hook for? What costs are you committed to? So that is one of the big things that I see, not accounting for all of the costs accurately. And then one of the second thing that I've come across time and time again is that the salary that the owner wishes to take from the business, or to make, if they're hoping to make $80,000, $70,000, $50,000 per annum per year, they haven't accounted for that within the pricing. And it's almost as if certain entrepreneurs, certain business owners just think that magically along the line, without really taking it into consideration and without factoring, that somehow they're going to be paid. But if it's not built in and it's not planned for, then there's a likelihood that it won't occur. And the reason that there are a high percentage of business failures within that sort of, first to third, fourth, fifth year, the reason why it's so high is because business owners don't take into account properly the cost base. That is one of the huge factors, that there's not a real appreciation, consideration, and not enough focus placed on that initial cost base.
I think it is such a powerful awareness that's needed, right? Taking into consideration, you talked about paying yourself. What do you want to get paid? I love the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, and he oftentimes says one of the key principles around financial management is pay thyself. I think the line reads. But I think many of the entrepreneurs, when they are starting out on their own and starting their business, you're so true in terms of they're not accounting for their time, their energy, their efforts, and what they are looking to get out of the business. You also talked a little bit about planning for those scenarios, right? And I think it is so important before you go. I often tell my clients, before you go and spend the thousands of dollars, spend 3 to 5 days and hash out your business plan. And the initial take of your business plan, it is all assumptions, because you're assuming that people would pay at this. You're assuming these things, but then giving yourself the space to really engage with your customer, to understand their needs, and making sure that there's an alignment and you are aware. And then furthermore, you're now able to validate your plan, right? Once you put that plan into motion, you get to see how people interact with it accordingly. The main thing you talked about as well is that competitive awareness and landscape. What is that competitive when one is thinking about the competitive landscape around pricing, what are some of the factors you encourage people to take into consideration as they're determining their own price as well?
Is to look at their competitors, to actually pick up the phone. So you had talked about the business plan and there being assumptions in the business plan. But what you should be doing as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who's wants to launch a service or wants to introduce a product to the market, you should be taking this product or this service idea and at a minimum find 50 people and say to them, would you buy this? And if you would buy it, give me some feedback about it in terms of what's springing to top of mind right now is say for instance some cocoa butter, some skincare. Like, take your skincare and speak to 50 people that and say, okay, what do you think about this particular this product, the packaging, how it smells, how does it make your skin feel, and take all of that information, write it down and make a note. So now you have, feedback from 50 different people about your particular product.